Hey, it's John! Let's start with a wild fact. Some of the legal ideas that protect your rights today trace back over 1,500 years. The source: the Byzantine Empire's Justinian Code, a legal system so influential it still shapes laws from Paris to Tokyo and even New Orleans. This isn't just a relic, it's the legal DNA of the modern world, born from an emperor obsessed with order. The Justinian Code, or Corpus Juris Civili, is a historical miracle of survival. Back in Rome, laws were a chaotic mess, contradictory, confusing, and impossible to follow. Justinian's team rescued and organized this chaos, creating a system that would shape civilizations for centuries. After being compiled in 6th century Constantinople, the code was lost to Western Europe for centuries, then rediscovered in Italy, sparking a revolution in legal thinking. Suddenly, scholars and rulers had a sophisticated legal framework to study and adapt. The Justinian Code isn't just history, it's a living influence, the foundation of many modern legal systems. It's proof that a good set of rules can outlive empires and still define our rights today. That's why this story matters. So, who was behind this legal revolution? Meet Emperor Justinian I, ruling the Byzantine Empire from 527 to 565 CE. Justinian rose from humble beginnings with a vision to restore Rome's lost glory. His capital, Constantinople, was a dazzling metropolis, but its legal system was a disaster. Centuries of conflicting laws made justice unpredictable. Justinian saw law as the glue holding society together. He wanted a unified, fair legal system for everyone, from Egyptian farmers to Constantinople merchants. His mission: sift through a millennium of Roman law, keep the best, and create a single authoritative code. For Justinian, this wasn't just tidying up, it was a sacred duty. As a devout Christian, he believed a just empire should reflect divine order. He aimed for one empire, one church, one law. This drive for order fueled one of history's most ambitious legal reforms. Justinian wasn't just building an empire, he was building a legal legacy. His code would outlast his conquests and shape the world for centuries. That's the power of vision and law. So what is the Justinian Code? It's not just one book. It's a collection called the Corpus Juris Civilis, or Body of Civil Law. It's made up of 4 parts, each with a unique role. First, the Codex Justinianus, the main rulebook, streamlining thousands of imperial laws into a single organized collection. Second, the Digest, a massive anthology of the greatest Roman legal minds, condensed into 50 books, a legal encyclopedia explaining the principles behind the laws. Third, the Institutes, the official textbook for law students, giving a clear introduction to Roman law. Fourth, the Novellae, new laws issued by Justinian after the first 3 parts were finished. Together, these 4 parts created a comprehensive, logical legal system. It was designed to be the final word on Roman law for all time. The code wasn't just about rules, it was about making law understandable and accessible. That's why it became the backbone of so many legal systems. It was a legal toolkit for building order. How do you create a legal system for an empire? You assemble a dream team. Justinian chose Tribonian, a brilliant legal scholar, to lead a commission of top experts. Their first task: create the codex by sorting through centuries of imperial laws. In just over a year, they produced a streamlined code, a huge achievement. Next, they tackled the digest, distilling the wisdom of ancient jurists into a single, organized collection. 16 experts worked for 3 years, editing and clarifying millions of lines of legal thought. At the same time, Tribonian and 2 professors wrote the Institutes, a clear, modern textbook for law students. The Institutes and Digest were published together in 533 CE. The entire project was driven by urgency and vision. Justinian and his team weren't just organizing laws, they were forging a new legal identity for the empire. Their work set the standard for legal reform. What did the Justinian Code actually say? It covered almost every aspect of life, and some ideas were surprisingly modern. In family law, it required marriage by mutual consent and protected a wife's right to her dowry, giving women rare financial security. Property law was detailed, with clear rules for ownership, inheritance, and contracts, creating stability for economic growth. The code established the principle of innocent until proven guilty, a foundation of modern justice. It aimed to make law accessible and predictable, not subject to the whims of the powerful. But it wasn't all progressive. The code upheld slavery and enforced harsh religious conformity. Still, it laid the groundwork for many modern legal freedoms. The code was a product of its time, complex, ambitious, and deeply influential. It shaped how people married, owned property, and sought justice. Its principles echo in courtrooms today. That's the mark of a truly lasting law. Even its flaws teach us about the world it came from. The Justinian Code's real journey began after its creation. Lost in Western Europe for centuries, it was rediscovered in 11th century Italy, sparking an intellectual revolution. Scholars at the University of Bologna studied and adapted it, spreading its principles across Europe. This gave rise to civil law, a tradition based on written codes, not just court decisions. The code became the foundation for most European legal systems. Napoleon's legal reforms in the 1800s drew directly from it, creating the Napoleonic Code. Through conquest and influence, this model spread worldwide. The Justinian Code became the blueprint for modern law. The Justinian Code's influence didn't stop in Europe. As European empires expanded, they exported civil law systems based on Roman principles to their colonies. Today, most countries' legal systems trace back to Justinian's work. Even Louisiana's laws, thanks to its French and Spanish roots, are built on this tradition. Japan and Turkey modernized their laws using European codes descended from Justinian's. The code's structure, logical, written, focused on property and contracts, proved adaptable worldwide. Its legacy is global, shaping justice from Latin America to Asia. How did the code affect real people? Imagine Theodora, a Byzantine woman whose dowry was protected by law, giving her security if widowed or divorced. Or Marcus, a merchant whose contracts were enforceable thanks to clear legal rules, making trade safer and more predictable. Even enslaved people like Demetrios could gain freedom through legal processes set out in the code. These laws shaped marriage, business, inheritance, and freedom. The code made life more stable and predictable, letting people plan and protect their interests. It wasn't perfect, but it brought consistency and rationality to justice. The code's real power was in its impact on daily life. It turned abstract principles into real protections. People could rely on the law, not just the whims of the powerful. That's what made the code revolutionary. Its legacy is found in the lives it changed. Justice became something ordinary people could count on. Why care about a 1500-year-old law code? Because the Justinian Code is the blueprint for how we think about justice, rights, and order. It shows that our societies are built on foundations laid centuries ago. The idea of organized, accessible laws and individual rights, these core concepts were cemented by Justinian's project. Studying the code reminds us that law is a tool for solving human problems. Today's legal challenges are different, but the need for clarity and reform remains. The code's legacy proves that ambitious change is possible. If you found this journey fascinating, join our community to explore more hidden connections between past and present. Thanks for watching. See you next time.